Hey yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Donnie back again. Oh, actually, this is the first video on this. It's gonna be a brand new channel. Ayoo Donnie Reacts. Make sure you guys go subscribe. Hit that button right now. Do it while we just get it out the way. On this channel up, let's get it to 1,000. See what happens. But with that being said, let's get into the first video. This one, I'm sure you guys have probably heard about it. About the young girl Celeste that was dating a old 18-year-old. I don't know much about him. Guess he's famous on TikTok. He on TikTok. But if you are, you probably know who he is. So let's just get into it. I know a little bit about what's happened, but I don't know all the details. I've only heard the bits and pieces. To me, it seems like it should be pretty cut and dry. But let's just watch this video. Shout out to Law and Crime. Let's get it.
A teen girl's body is found in the trunk of a car tied to a rising music artist. Now more details continue to emerge on the connection between the two. But are all the dots leading to an arrest? We're breaking down the latest on where the investigation stands. Thanks for joining us on Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner. The mystery surrounding the tragic death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas deepens weeks after her body was discovered in a trunk. No one has been arrested or even charged, but that hasn't stopped some online from drawing their own conclusion about who they think might be the suspect. So this is what we know so far. On September 8th, the body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas was found in the front trunk of a Tesla after the car had been towed to a tow yard in Hollywood. What we know about the condition of how her body was found is unimaginable. Her remains were wrapped in plastic, and according to NBC News, her remains were not intact. So the reason it took so long to ID her body was due to the decomposition of her body. This case has sparked so much interest, especially when it was learned that the Tesla Celeste body was found in was registered to singer David Anthony Burke, better known by his stage name David, but spelled with a 4. Now, as of this recording, David doesn't face any charges, nor has he been arrested in connection to Celeste's murder. But here's why some think he might allegedly be involved in some way. Besides the fact Celeste was found in a car registered to him, her mom told TMZ last week her daughter had been missing since April 5th of 2024 at just 13 years old. Celeste's mom told the outlet she got worried.
So she wasn't. She was 13. We're in December, a year and a half. It's a whole don't add up. Also, I don't know if they're gonna talk about it here before parents that she was dating dude, grown ass man.
Learning the news of a body being found in a Tesla because one, the police description matched Celeste, 5'1", weighing about 70 pounds, wavy dark hair, but also a major standout, the letters SH tattooed on her finger, which just so happens to match the exact same tattoo David also has on his index finger. And if that wasn't just merely a coincidence, Celeste's mom also told TMZ her daughter had a boyfriend named David. Now, eagle-eyed fans went to David's music also hoping for some kind of clues or possible ties. In one of his leaked songs, David sings about professing his love to someone named Celeste. The verses include, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed." The other verse includes, "Oh Celeste, afraid you'll only love me when undressed. But you look so damn gorgeous in that dress. Missing you so much makes me depressed, but I digress because." Now, the song was reportedly titled Celeste Demo Unfin. It's interesting, though, the timing. The song was leaked in December of 2023, months before Celeste was reported missing. But if the Celeste being sung about is the same Celeste who was found murdered, that means a then 18-year-old David was singing about a 13-year-old Celeste. David's creative visuals have also faced new scrutiny. According to a report by News Nation, the singer allegedly had a casket on stage while he was performing. And in
No, another thing though, it's crazy that I don't know if they're gonna talk about it in this video, but from what I heard, Buddy was picking her up in the Tesla while she was in middle school. And nobody thought that was fucking weird. Like, make it make sense. Where's the adults that's accountable? Because if the parents knew she was dating somebody named David, unless they just didn't know, they had no clue who David was. But I don't believe that. I don't. I feel like there's something that either the parents knew who this dude was, and maybe he got the R. Kelly treatment because he's a famous TikTok. You know how that shit go, bro. I hate to say it, but some parents is fucking. Not saying hers are. Not saying that. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out spitballing ideas.
The music video for his song One More Dance, it features a body being dragged and put into a trunk. And in that video, David played both the victim and the killer. But was it all for the artistry or a dark look into his mind? It all depends on how you look at it. But the video also was released back in February, 7 months before the discovery of Celeste's body. His hit song Romantic Homicide has also faced new questions, too, for its bloody and violent visuals. But surprisingly, the song has been skyrocketing in streams in light of the investigation. Again, just a coincidence, or is there more to it? The singer has been facing backlash online, not just for the alleged inappropriate relationship, but also some unusual online activity that has some scratching their heads. Some Redditors noticed David's official subreddit has been locked. According to Fox 11, David is listed as the sole moderator of that account, and some users believe that he's been trying to control a narrative by deleting critical posts about him and the ongoing police investigation. This all came after someone who claimed to be a moderator on David's Discord server and Twitch channel claimed that they didn't know about Celeste, nor were they aware of her age or that she was missing. The admin reportedly thought she was 18 or 19. Then you have the photo that
Okay. So did they not know about her? Or did they know about her and I just high and I didn't hear that right?
channel claimed that they didn't know about Celeste, nor were they aware of her age or that she was missing. The admin reportedly thought she was 18 or 19. Then you have the photo that surfaced to TMZ of David in Lake Elsinore, where Celeste is from. Detectives seemingly took all of that information in, because soon after, LAPD officers searched a home where the Tesla was reported abandoned. According to ABC, officers spent hours at that home in the Hollywood Hills, where they ultimately seized evidence, including a computer. Now, the house where detectives searched was reportedly rented by a man named Josh Marshall, who just so happens to be David's manager. Detectives were looking for any kind of trace evidence, including blood. The home was reportedly a $20,000 a month rental. And according to new reports, David and his manager abruptly broke their lease just days after police raided the property. In light of no arrests or charges made at this time, David's career is already taking a huge hit. His music label put a halt on his upcoming album release and music promotions. He canceled his world tour and remaining leg of his U.S. tour. And brands including Hollister and Crocs dropped the singer from their marketing campaign. But we could learn more, as investigators are likely anxiously awaiting the medical examiner's findings on Celeste's autopsy, which could reveal a whole lot more and finally start to lead to answers for several unanswered questions. I'm joined now by retired homicide detective Dr. Ken Lang. Ken, thank you so much for being here today. You know, a lot of people have been following this case, but what's your reaction? You have a young teenager found dismembered in the trunk of a singer's Tesla. But I'm curious, we're weeks now into the investigation, no arrests, no charges. How do you think detectives are working the case now at this point?
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
So right now, detectives are working this case as a fact-finding case. If you've noticed, the medical examiner has not yet ruled on the cause or the manner of death in this case. And so in this stage of the investigation, we call this a medico-legal investigation, where investigators, the criminalist, the medical examiner are all working together. They're bringing in the facts that they're seeing, and they're trying to determine what is the cause and manner of death. And so while it's a fact-finding investigation at this point, We also see foul play. Certainly, so Celeste's body is found dismembered. From the publications I'm reading, it appears that only her torso and her head, wrapped in plastic, were found in the trunk. So then investigators should be looking for a place, a scene where that dismemberment happened, and where are the arms and legs of Celeste. And those pieces of information could become vital
Hey, hold up.
because
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You just say they couldn't find the arms or the legs? So how did they identify her with her finger shish on her finger? Wait a minute.
and where are the arms and legs of Celeste? And those pieces of information could become vital because they may show signs or injuries or other information for the medical examiner in helping to determine a cause and manner of death.
And it's just horrible, like rethinking about those gruesome details, especially with how young Celeste was. And what do you think is going to be more important? Is it going to be the fact finding, or is it going to be the results of the autopsy report?
Well, both are interlinked together and inextricably. And so that the facts that we find and the facts that reveal themselves are going to give that information to the medical examiner to make that determinant for the cause and manner of death. And so in investigations like this, that's paramount, particularly when you're looking to see if there was any criminal activity, and if there was, what exact criminal activity had happened. Because
What kind of criminal? Bro, he was chopped up and put in a car. I don't. I think that's pretty criminal.
right now, there is the possibility that she could have died of natural causes, say, for example, an overdose. And then people decided we need to remove her body or dispose of her body in a way that doesn't link her to us.
I feel that on one hand. The other hand, somebody called. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing the logic that logically. I don't think chopping up the body, making songs about killing somebody and putting magically down in the. You know what?
Yeah.
Or it could be that there's a criminal intent and that there's the injury was inflicted upon her, and that again, so those facts that they find from all the examination of the entire body as a whole becomes paramount in making that determination.
So I feel like everything that we know right now, we still need to know so much more. But with everything we do know now, Ken, I'm curious to know your thoughts on whether or not all of this is just a really bad coincidence, or does it look like there's enough evidence kind of pointing to the singer David as having something to do with Celeste's murder?
So at this point, yeah, I don't know that there is. I don't see enough probable cause to even point to murder yet. Again, the medical exam.
But chat, y'all heard that? Watching, bro. Tell me, am I tripping? There isn't probable cause murder. I feel like they had less probable cause for YMW Melly, and he's still locked up. They found this girl's body dismembered in the trunk of his car.
examiner is going to have to rule, and without that, a prosecutor is really not going to be able to move forward. Their hands and feet are going to be bound in any criminal pursuit of charges in that way.
It is shit so crazy. You guys like conspiracies? Do you know how people are always talking about gotta sacrifice body? This guy. Let me know what you guys think down
What
below.
was the other part of your question? I'm
Possibly.
sorry.
Oh,
Motherfuckers do
no, of
anything
course. I was just going
nowadays.
to ask, do you think that we have enough evidence kind of pointing to the singer as being responsible, or do you think that everything just right
Fuck
now
yeah,
is
he
just a
did that shit.
really, really bad coincidence?
So right now,
Guilty as
regarding the
fuck.
evidence,
Actually, what if he's not though? What if it was? I don't see how he's not. Thankfully, I don't know, dude, so I can't. You know what I mean? Character, but just being, random person that heard bits and pieces. I hate to say.
it's, as you say, a bad coincidence, or it's really circumstantial, if you will. There's no direct evidence to show that David did anything to cause the death of Celeste and then to dismember and dispose of the body, other than we have.
So I don't have a Tesla, but I don't think you can just open the trunk of the Tesla out. I don't know. My whip's old, but unless he just gave his keys to somebody who just happened to be with a girl named Celeste, who just happened to be this girl that was missing, that just happened to be the same girl that he was picking up in his Tesla I, from middle school, which is again fucking crazy. I All right, we'll play dumb.
Have her body in the back of his Tesla and it's dismembered, but we don't even have proof to say that he did that per se and not somebody else that he might be associated with.
And do you think, with
I
kind of a
guess.
lot of people having eyes on this case now, in terms of kind of the armchair detectives, or how some people would say internet sleuths or internet vultures, do you think they're helping or hindering the case in terms of maybe just over inundating detectives with information just because they want to get justice for Celeste and also possibly solve a crime? Do you think that those who are just curious about the case, who are just throwing in tips to detectives, do you think that that's helping the case at all in terms of finding new leads possibly?
So overall, as a detective who's worked homicide investigations, you're very aware of the court of public opinion.
And that's me.
And the reality is, these detectives are not sitting down and really watching too much of the news, the media feed, and all that information, as much as they are working the case and filling it out with plugging the holes where they have the gaps of information that they need. That isn't to say that they're not that someone isn't monitoring the news to see if there is a witness or if there is somebody who is paramount to bringing more information into this investigation. So you may have a bystander, you may have a witness who's been communicating with some of these people who may have brought in a lead to them that becomes important. And so as those leads come in,
I also think he lived in that neighborhood. Crazy. A little. I know it's everybody got Ring cameras. Imagine neighborhood where it's like that. They gotta have see. Gotta have some. There's gonna be some I had to see something. It's only a matter of time.
And detectives are going to go through those leads. They're going to look at what is the viability of this? How valid is this lead? And often, the leads that become important in an investigation will have some sense or a little piece of information that's not commonly known to the public, but is known to the suspects involved and the investigators conducting the investigation.
And so, do you think it's a rush to judgment for some fans who are already thinking that David might be a suspect in this or have something to do with this? Because, I mean, when you're talking about just some of the facts that we've learned so far, such as the age difference between.
Okay, let me just think about this logically outside of fact. Let's just say this regular dude. Okay, let's just say it was me. Somebody found a car, or somebody found a body in my car. Who, who do you think they're gonna come and arrest? Again, I don't understand why he hasn't been arrested. I don't. There's a lot. I get it.
The two, the fact that Celeste was found in his car, the fact that the car was found at a home near where he and his manager had rented out this house in the Hollywood Hills. Do you think that people, though, are still rushing too much to judgment?
That's another thing. We know it's his car. A neighborhood like that, ain't tell me that they're grannies with lines. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Down.
Thinking that he had something to do with this murder or this homicide investigation.
I think that the people aren't necessarily rushing to judgment as much as they're letting their suspicion be aroused, much like a detective would in the investigation. And so, information's coming out in this case where she may not have necessarily conveyed that she was a runaway, or may not have conveyed what her age was. And
goddamn middle school, bro. I mean, they didn't say it in this, but another.
You know, in the criminal world, or in when they're involved in those kinds of activities where age, such as sexual activity, and age is are primary elements, depending on what crime you're looking at. Um, that becomes important. That becomes a flag or a signal for us to start looking at, did they know? Didn't they know? But just because they didn't know doesn't mean that that's an excuse that excludes them, or prevents them from being convicted of a crime. And so,
Bro is picking her up.
With this, the information coming in, as it's arousing the suspicion, detectives think about those things. We think about, could have sexual misconduct occurred here? Was it consensual? Was it not consensual? What does this look like? What information are we seeing as far as tangible evidence that we're getting? So, for example, do we have text messages or communications between different individuals? What's the content of that? Does that lead us to look more in one direction, or to look more in another direction?
So, Dr. Ling, I'm curious what your thoughts are on a possible criminal profile attached to somebody who might have been involved in this. I'm not necessarily talking about David or the singer, but if somebody was behind the murder of Celeste Rivas, what would their criminal profile possibly look like?
Ooh, so that's a good question. I don't know that I could really answer that, because I don't necessarily have the psych background for that. But what would a suspect look like? And so, well, let's take the facts of the case as we.
Probably somebody will write songs about killing somebody, and I think
we know them now. That is, her body was found badly decomposed. It's just the torso, the head. She's been mutilated. Obviously, this is somebody who did not want investigators, one, to find the body, and was successful for some time for her body to decompose over a period of time. And two, once found, didn't want her to be identified. So there seems to be a nexus to some connection with her. She is a young, attractive woman, and certainly this involve a possible involvement in a relationship, whether consensual or not, is important to look at too with regards to that profile of the suspect. There's information that came out in some of the publications that there was a young lady in one of David's videos that looks like Celeste, but they didn't sound like they could give a positive identification to that. Is there some attraction there with that? And so certainly you start looking at the possibility of, could this have been a meeting by chance? She runs away from home, meets him, and then runs away to be with him because of some romantic relationship. And then it goes bad. Something happens, something goes awry, and then she meets a demise.
I could say objectives like,
Ooh,
go
wait till
grab
this
the latest
commercial
stock price of NVIDIA, then look back 5 years and find the total return on investment.
Yeah, and it's just horrible.
I think he's partially right. And she met, bro. I don't even know what I keep calling. He like, I don't know. I need to be. I got it. I wish a mother be 18 and try and talk to me. I go be.
The circumstances overall, because again, Celeste was so young. She had her whole life ahead of her, and then this happens to her, and I'm hoping that she and her family get justice at some point. My final question to you, Dr. Lang, is how long do you think it'll be before an arrest is finally made, if an arrest is finally made?
Oh, at the top of the show, we were talking about the importance of the medical examiner and what those findings are going to be. It was always my experience that it would take about 10 weeks from the day of autopsy before an autopsy report would be issued. Currently, the medical examiner's office has deferred her findings. They're waiting for toxicology to come back, and they're also going to waiting on if there's any further evidence that is relevant to that determination of cause and manner of death. And so I would certainly say a few more months before we have all that information and better know and understand. And then if there is information revealed that there is foul play, that there are injuries that would have caused the death, and then this is ruled a homicide, then at that point, investigators are going to have to link that injury to the actual suspect. And so how long that takes, well, that's going to depend on how many interviews they've conducted, what information they've learned from those interviews, and again, what other tangible information they have that's external from those interviews, such as messaging and emails, phone calls, text messages, all internet searches, so on and so forth.
And I guess we'll see once all of that comes to fruition. Again, Dr. Ken Lang, I want to thank you so much for your time and your insight into this case. I really appreciate
it. And so y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. You think he did? We gonna find. That's gonna be it for the first video. Make sure y'all go subscribe. Go hit the damn subscribe button. About to be lit over here. Reacting to all sorts of crazy shit. You want to go check out my family channel, it's gonna be down in the description. Our last video, our announcement video, I know we've been slack. Gonna pick it up though. We pumping out the content. But anyways, with that being said, I'm out of here. I'll catch y'all in the next video. All right, peace.